Part 80. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 791. Xiao Xian didn't care. On the other hand, another disciple named Zhang Feng looked a little dissatisfied. Obviously, he was not very willing to perform missions with a low-strength teammate like Xiao Xian. Sister Wu. What should we do next? Xiao Xian ignored this guy and asked Wu Bingqing directly, are we just searching aimlessly like this? This seems a bit troublesome. It seems like this won't work, right? In this lightning strike place, not only is the place not small, but there are also various disciples of the Puppet Thunder section. They are looking for it aimlessly, and they may not be able to find it in a month. Zhang Feng said dissatisfied, how could you say such a thing? I heard that Zhang Feng was targeting him overtly and covertly. Xiao Xian didn't care. For him, people like Zhang Feng are not worthy of his attention at all, and they are not even worthy of his words. Using the Qinglong divination technique, you can roughly know Feng Qinjiang's location. But if you still want to find the specific location, you may need the power of the soul to help detect it. Wu Bingqing looked at Xiao Xian pointedly. Among the people present, he was the only one who was the soul of reality. No problem. My soul can detect a few hundred meters without any problem. As long as I know the general location of this guy, I am confident that I can find him. Xiao Xian also smiled. That's very good. However, you must also be careful about your soul and not be harmed by Feng Qingyang. Wu Bingqing nodded secretly and reminded, I heard that Feng Qingyang is also a spiritual soul cultivator, and he has a spiritual soul cultivation technique. This time. Instead, it aroused Xiao Xian's curiosity. Previously, he had received the Heaven and Earth soul searching technique as a gift from the system, and it was with this thing that he was able to elevate his soul to reality. This Heaven and Earth soul searching technique brought him various benefits. He himself understands it very well. But he didn't expect that this guy Feng Qingyang also had the art of soul cultivation. This is a bit unbelievable. You must know that the soul cultivation technique is extremely rare, so the soul cultivation technique of the same grade is much more precious than the Taoist technique of the same grade. A sect trader like Feng Qingyang. Where did you find the soul cultivation technique? It was by relying on these soul cultivation techniques that Feng Qingyang easily killed several disciples of our Qinghua Academy, so you too should be careful, Wu Bingqing said. Then what state has his soul reached? Xiao Xian asked casually. Taixuria realm, Wu Bingqing said casually. What? This Feng Qingyang is so strong. Xiao Xian and Wu Bingqing were both calm, but Zhang Feng was stunned. How? Are you scared? Wu Bingqing glanced at Zhang Feng and said coldly, if you are scared, you can go back now. Say this. Zhang Feng's face turned blue and white in turns. It's as uncomfortable as it feels. Within Qinghua Academy, as a practitioner of the great perfection of the spiritual god realm, he is also considered a core disciple of the lineage. But in front of Wu Bingqing, he was nothing. Taixu middle realm. Maybe it's pretty good in front of ordinary disciples. But if compared with monsters like Xiao Xian and Wu Bingqing, he would be a bit out of place. With the divine soul cultivation technique, the divine soul's power has reached the Taixu realm. Such strength is indeed a bit strong. Zhang Feng was secretly speechless. On the contrary, Xiao Xian and Wu Bingqing looked indifferent. Both of them are very confident. In their opinion, Feng Qinjiang's ability is not worth mentioning at all. Just when Wu Bingqing wanted to say something more. In the dense forest not far away. Suddenly there was a loud bang. A huge black thunder fell from the sky and hit a big tree. In an instant, the big tree that the two hugged was split into two halves, and the branches burned with blazing fire. There is a large pit on the ground that is one person deep. Wu Bingqing and Xiao Xian were fine with this. but Zhang Feng's face instantly turned pale. The giant thunder that fell from the sky just now was almost as powerful as a full-strength strike from the great perfection of the spiritual god realm. If it hits him, I'm afraid it won't be easy for him to face. Is this the black thunder falling from the sky in the lightning strike place? Xiao Xian nodded secretly and involuntarily took out the thunder bead in his hand. Yes. Black thunder with this kind of power is not uncommon. Over time, the trees in this dense forest will become stronger than the trees in other areas. Wu Bingqing nodded and said, however, if you are careful and vigilant, you can still predict where the black thunder will land. Can this giant black thunder predict predictions? I would also like to ask senior sister Wu for advice on how to predict this black giant thunder. Xiao Xian's eyes lit up. He just found out. When the giant black thunder appeared, the thunder bead in his hand actually trembled, and the restrictions on it seemed to be loosened a little. It seems that this black giant thunder is very effective in unlocking the thunder beads. This discovery really surprised Xiao Xian. You know, for such a long time, he and his master Wu Meng have found many ways, but they have been unable to unlock the restrictions on the Lake Guangzhou. Unexpectedly. Now this huge black thunder. There is such an effect. Could it be that this is what is called the person who needs to tie the bell to untie it? If this is really the case, doesn't it mean that if he wants to unlock the forbidden seal on the thunder bead, he must rely on the power of the black giant thunder? For a while, Xiao Xian also started thinking. What are you looking at? Do you want to be hit by this giant thunder? Wu Bingqing saw Xiao Xian in a daze and said, however, this black giant thunder is not a good thing for ordinary practitioners, but for practitioners with thunder attributes, it is a good opportunity to understand the way of thunder. For the black thunder of heaven and earth. If you observe carefully, you can still predict it. For example, the color of the sky here is different, and it is very likely that a huge thunder will land. Really? Let me see. I heard Wu Bingqing's introduction. Xiao Xian was a little moved. Looking up at the sky, I saw that the dark clouds in the sky were particularly thick. Boom. Click. Sure enough, a huge thunder struck directly in the next second. A huge pit was left in place. But what shocked Wu Bingqing and Zhang Feng was that Xiao Xian, who was still standing there just now, actually took the initiative to walk towards the place where the black giant thunder landed. Xiao Xian. What are you doing? It's dangerous out there. Wu Bingqing said quickly. She has a cold personality and generally does not care about someone she has only known for a short time. But in this mission. After all, Xiao Xian is a member of her team, and she does not want to see Xiao Xian have an accident after all. But the next second, Wu Bingqing was even more shocked. I saw Xiao Xian standing there, taking the initiative to open his arms and facing the sky, as if he was actively welcoming the thunder. He actually planned to use his body to resist the black giant thunder. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 792. Click. After the giant black thunder landed, it penetrated Xiao Xian's body in an instant, and the power of black thunder and lightning was like a knife chopping and an axe, giving his body a big baptism. Threads of white thunder and lightning flashed through Xiao Xian's body. Each time through muscle and sinew. They all brought him as much pain as a pinprick. In this regard, Xiao Xian did not use Dao power to resist, but only used the power of his body to bear it. This is why he used dragon body pill before. The body is extremely strong. In addition, there is the colorful aura left by Xiaolu, which constantly repairs his injured body. Otherwise, just a huge black thunder can cause serious damage to his body. A long time. The smoke cleared. Xiao Xian's body was also blown up by the giant thunder and smoke came out. The entire body felt as if it had been crushed by a boulder, with muscles broken and blood flowing freely. Xiaoxian, are you crazy? This giant black thunder is very powerful, how dare you bear it? Wu Bingqing couldn't help but be a little surprised. She could clearly see the power of the giant black thunder just now. If she used the great way of water, she might be able to withstand such a huge force. Who knew that Xiaoxian could only resist with his physical body? Although he looks a little embarrassed now. But it didn't seem that the injury was serious. This was really beyond Wu Bingqing's expectation. Have you ever cultivated your physical body before? Wu Bingqing was a little surprised. She didn't expect that Xiaoxian's soul could be so strong after cultivating it to the real level. I'm lucky enough to have practiced a little bit, Xiaoxian said casually. But I feel that the physical Taoist skills you practice should be of a high level. Wu Bingqing's face was serious. Well enough. It should probably be around the ground level. Xiaoxian said casually. But his appearance made Wu Bingqing and Zhangfeng look strange. Terrace. This level of physical tempering technique. Not to mention within Qinghua Academy, even in the entire Mingzhou territory, it is probably an extremely precious thing. How could Xiaoxian get it? Moreover, even if he really got it, would he still dare to say it? Impossible. This is absolutely impossible. After thinking for a while, Wu Bingqing and Zhangfeng both shook their heads. I simply don't want to believe that Xiaoxian can really have such a great ability. Probably using secret techniques. I just want to show off in front of senior sister Wu, that's all. Zhangfeng thought for a moment and came to such a conclusion, and then sneered, Xiaoxian, isn't it a bit ridiculous for you to do this? Ridiculous, Xiaoxian didn't care at all. He just looked at the thunder bead in his hand carefully, but regretfully found that the restriction on the thunder bead was still there. Isn't it childish for you to show off your strength in this way? Seeing Xiaoxian's confused face, Zhangfeng was even more convinced that he had guessed correctly. If you don't show your strength, how can you win respect? Xiaoxian felt a little baffled. Even so, you won't get my respect. Zhangfeng's confidence returned and he looked at Xiaoxian with a proud face. It's a simple thing. I don't need your respect either. Xiaoxian was a little annoyed. Why is this thunder bead like a tortoise shell, so hard? Although the giant black thunder just now did not kill him directly, it still caused him serious injuries. Who knows? There's nothing wrong with this thunder bead. Could it be that this giant black thunder is not powerful enough? Or does he need to withstand a few more black thunders? For a moment, Xiaoxian didn't pay attention. If that's the case, your methods are indeed despicable. Wu Bingqing also heard clearly what Zhangfeng said just now. As the most beautiful girl among the inner disciples of Qinghua Academy, there are many young talents who pursue her. These young talents will also come up with various ways to pursue her. Only, she never liked anyone. However, this was the first time she had seen Xiaoxian's expressive means of actively carrying the thunder. But she looked at Xiaoxian's disgraced look. On the contrary, it is a bit childlike. He couldn't help but have a smile on his face. It seems that this Xiaoxian is more interesting than those young talents, and he is also stronger. This scene was also seen by Zhangfeng. But after seeing Wu Bingqing's appearance, he hated Xiaoxian in his heart. Jealousy and hatred. At that time, part of the reason why he chose to follow Wu Bingqing to the land of lightning strike was to pursue the former. If there is no Xiaoxian this time, he could have participated in the mission with Wu Bingqing. Who knew that now Xiaoxian would interfere with him, which was indeed something that made him unhappy. Okay, Xiaoxian looked towards the sky, but found no sign of the sky thunder continuing to appear, and walked over calmly. Who said that? Xiaoxian is still at the beginning of the spiritual god realm. It's just boring. Why don't you get nervous? Enough to make him proud. Of course, these things are nothing to Wu Bingqing, who is an inner disciple. Those people, who have only achieved a little bit of success, want to raise their tails to the sky. Looking like a scoundrel? Instead, Xiaoxian glared, patted his chest and said, "What does this little black thunder mean? Even if there are more powerful sky thunders, I can still withstand it?" That guy kept hiding like a rat. Hear these words. When she first accepted the mission, she also learned some details about Xiaoxian. She was surprised to find that Xiaoxian actually entered Qinghua College half a year ago. Moreover, when I first entered Qinghua College, she was well informed in Qinghua Academy, but she had never heard of anyone like Xiaoxian. On the contrary, Wu Bingqing still had a bit of curiosity on her face. Seeing Xiaoxian's unfinished expression, Wu Bingqing couldn't help but ask, "Looking at you, it seems you can't bear it, right? How could it be like Xiaoxian? How can a man say he can't do it?" Ba Wu Bingqing's face was slightly red, but then she said with a cold face, "Stop talking about these boring topics. If you are really capable, find that guy Feng Qingyang quickly. Okay. Go wipe your face, don't be stupid. Are you planning to get beaten again?" But these are also Xiao Suanqi's hard-earned achievements. To be so confident in front of her. But in just half a year, he raised his strength to the peak of the spiritual god realm, and even won the first place in the freshman competition and the first place in the professor selection. However, as long as you have a general direction, it is very simple to find him. Wu Bingqing has also met some so-called proud men. It even performed well in Qinglian Valley. Xiaoxian didn't take this guy to heart, he just said, "I just want to trouble senior sister Shi to judge the location of this guy." Seeing Xiaoxian's stupid look, Wu Bingqing felt a little more unbearable. How? Do not know why. You are listening to novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 793. Stop being such a mouthful here. From now on, you can do whatever you want. Looking at Xiaoxian's rogue look, Wu Bingqing was also full of helplessness. To be honest, Xiaoxian came to the lightning strike place as a member of her team. Although he was hit by a huge black thunder for no reason. But he was not injured and was still alive and well. Moreover, since entering the lightning strike place, Xiaoxian has been doing his best to help her find Feng Qingyang. At least they weren't as noisy as Huzong and Chen Rufei. Now, Wu Bingqing thought about it and seemed to not know how to deal with Xiaoxian's attitude. The clown. Hearing that Wu Bingqing did not reprimand Xiaoxian, but instead got closer to Xiaoxian, Zhang Feng was a little annoyed. If you don't have real skills and just rely on some weird and obscene skills to attract attention, how can you get far? However, his words had no lethal effect on Xiaoxian. In Xiaoxian's opinion, what this guy said was purely envy and hatred. Sour grapes. But really speaking, Xiaoxian did all this not so boringly, just to win Wu Bingqing's attention. It's just to open the thunder bead. At the moment, he was naturally curious when he heard that there was a lightning strike more powerful than the black giant thunder. Sister Wu, don't just do this. If there is a lightning strike more powerful than this black giant thunder, I will naturally be more curious, right? Xiaoxian couldn't help but said, "I want to test how strong my body is." Is there something wrong with you? Wu Bingqing couldn't believe her ears. No. There's nothing wrong with me, I'm normal. Xiaoxian was a little helpless. If it weren't for Lei Guangzhi's trump card, he was not willing to break the restriction in such a stupid way. Even now, he has been misunderstood by others as a fool. How do I say this? Could it be that the physical magic you have tempered requires lightning strikes? After taking a serious look at Xiaoxian, Wu Bingqing suddenly realized something. She had seen many practitioners who tempered their bodies before, and their methods of tempering their bodies were basically unnatural. It can cause extreme pain to the body. Smash the red-hot iron sand with your palms, soak in ice water in the 12th lunar month of winter, let others hit your body with sticks. Although these methods are cruel, but the results are good. Basically, cultivators who can withstand such a test will eventually achieve good physical tempering effects. Even at the end. There are also many cultivators who have entered the Kangshen realm through the physical way. In Qinghua College, there is indeed a branch whose dean has achieved the Kangshen realm by relying on his physical body. Strong physical strength. Even Dean Kanglong can't break it easily. But now, Wu Bingqing looked at Xiaoxian carefully, and no matter how she looked at him, she felt that he did not look like a person who cultivated the physical body. There are a lot of lightning strikes in places where lightning strikes. In addition to these black giant thunders, there are also golden giant thunders and silver giant thunders. Wu Bingqing did not hide anything, as the name suggests. These two giant thunders, one golden and one silver, are very powerful. Some physical cultivators above the blue god realm like to use these giant thunders to temper themselves. How powerful are these two giant thunders? Xiaoxian was a little excited. The golden giant thunder is equivalent to a full-strength strike from a 5-star cultivator of the Kang god realm, and the silver giant thunder is equivalent to a full-strength strike from a 1-star Kang god realm cultivator. Wu Bingqing looked at Xiaoxian thoughtfully. If you want, it would be really tiring to challenge these two giant thunders. Hee, of course you can't compete with your body alone. Xiaoxian laughed and sighed secretly in his heart. This place struck by lightning is indeed no small matter. The black giant thunder before was equivalent to a full-strength strike from the great perfection of the spiritual god realm. I didn't expect that there were such things as golden giant thunder and silver giant thunder. A powerful blow from a Kangshen realm expert. Such power could shatter mountains and move rivers and seas. Although this giant thunder from the sky is powerful, it does not have the bonus of Taoyuan. Just like a bull, it only has power. But it is still not something to be underestimated by ordinary people. Xiaoxian calculated it himself. With his strength at the peak of the spiritual god realm, if he uses his Dao power, he may be able to withstand the bombardment of the silver giant thunder. If facing the golden giant thunder, he could only avoid the sharp edge for the time being and did not dare to resist forcefully. Do you understand? The giant thunder in the lightning strike place is still very effective. Wu Bingqing and Zhang Feng's expressions were a little strange. Xiaoxian tentatively communicated with the system. Zhang Feng looked at Xiaoxian disdainfully, with a bit of contempt on his lips. It doesn't matter if Xiaoxian wants to die. What is this word? Is it possible that Xiaoxian is still looking forward to a huge thunder falling from the sky? Now he's basically determined. What are you going to do? It is said that even in the lightning strike place, the golden thunder has not appeared for several months, but the silver thunder will appear every few days. The huge black thunder just now had already caused the thunder beads to tremble. What? Do you really want to resist the giant gold and silver thunder? If you had this ability, you would be a master of the blue god realm now. How could you still stay here? But Zhang Fen next to him sneered, not believing that Xiaoxian had this ability. Could it be that he still wants to let others die with him? I have a good idea of how many pounds I have. If this kind of golden thunder and silver thunder appeared several times larger, no one among them except Wu Bingqing would be able to resist it, right? Wu Bingqing said, after all, if these two kinds of giant thunder appear every day, even I wouldn't dare to walk around the lightning strike place at will. Don't get me wrong, I just want to see how powerful the Kangshen realm's attack can be. Is it possible that you really want to try the power of the golden thunder? Of course not. Xiaoxian said with a smile, after all, everyone wants to become a strong person in the spiritual god realm as soon as possible, right? Asked Wu Bingqing, senior sister Wu, although the place where lightning strikes is wonderful, a giant thunder of this level will not appear randomly, right? Hey hey. After hearing this, Wu Bingqing just nodded slightly. Wu Bingqing looked at Xiaoxian and said, "If this is really the case, I will mourn for you in advance." "What did you say?" "Of course. It's Xiaoxian. Think about it carefully. Do you think this giant silver thunder can open the thunder beads?" Xiaoxian smiled coquettishly. "However, after finding Feng Qingyang, I am really interested in challenging the silver giant thunder." "Don't say anything else." "It's a pity." Xiaoxian felt regretful. Brother system. He had a hunch that if he could be struck by a giant silver thunder, the restrictions on the thunder bead might be unlocked. "Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors." Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 794. This system prompts, the energy of thunder beads has almost the same benefits as the giant thunder falling from the sky. The host can try to understand the power of thunder and lightning. The system's response came. The power of thunder and lightning? The way of thunder and lightning? Xiaoxian was secretly happy. Does he know that on the Dao continent, Dao power energy and soul energy are both precious? But what is more important is the understanding of the avenue. From a certain perspective, if you have the understanding of Dao, it is absolutely natural to finally obtain Dao power energy. Then brother system, according to your words. As long as I gain understanding of thunder and lightning from the thunder bead, can I obtain thunder and lightning, the way of thunder and lightning? Xiaoxian's eyes lit up. When he said this, as expected, he was snorted directly by the system. He, maybe the way of thunder and lightning is not so simple to understand. Xiaoxian also said awkwardly, but at least you can understand it a little bit, right? This lightning strike place is not a bad place. However, if you want to understand the way of thunder and lightning, you have to rely on your own understanding. The system said, if your understanding is high, you may be able to understand 2 or 3 points. If your understanding is low, you may only be able to understand 1 point. I'm sorry. Brother system, isn't this a bit too deceptive? Even if the way of lightning strikes is very powerful, it's not so difficult to comprehend, right? Even with the power of the Blue God realm, you can only comprehend 1 or 2 points. Xiaoxian couldn't help but complain. The great way of heaven and earth, it is not that simple to comprehend. If you understand it thoroughly, every plant and tree can become a saint. If you don't understand it thoroughly, you won't be able to break through the Kanshen realm, even if it's the way of rivers and seas or the way of mountains. I see. Xiaoxian also nodded. I also have my own experience with this. He can understand that in practicing a discipline, the most taboo thing is to be knowledgeable but not master. This is especially true for some great avenues and spiritual practices. Sometimes, when the practice reaches its extreme, a drop of water or a blade of grass can defeat the sun, moon, and stars. However, I am confident in my own understanding. Xiaoxian smiled. After I catch that mouse first, I want both the energy of the thunder beads and the energy of the giant thunder from the sky. After making up my mind. Xiaoxian also had a goal in his heart. Next, in the dense forest, he began to search for Feng Qingyang more actively. The power of the soul of reality is released, and when it reaches its extreme, it can cover almost several kilometers. This was even a little beyond Xiaoxian's own expectations. Originally, as he expected, there would be a lot of thunderstorms in the lightning strike place, which would also slightly suppress the power of the soul. It would be good if his soul detection could reach several hundred meters. Who knew that when he released the power of his soul, the real soul could easily cover several kilometers. Within this range, no disturbance can escape his eyes. Moreover, the detection speed was very fast. As long as Feng Qingyang was still breathing, he could not hide the power of his soul. At first, in order to find Feng Qingyang as soon as possible, Wu Bingqing and Zhang Feng will also release their soul power and want to provide some help. But who knew that the gap between the souls and the real realms of Taixu Middle Realm and Taixu Back Realm was really too big? The scope of their exploration. It has actually been covered by Xiaoxian's detection range. Faced with such a situation, the two of them were very helpless, and finally took back their souls. After all, no one wants to do something thankless. Next, the three-person group walked for an hour or two. Having completely entered the depths of the dense forest, Feng Qinjiang's figure became more and more solid according to the Qinglong divination technique. Wu Bingqing's face also became more solemn. This showed that they were already extremely close to Feng Qinjiang's location. It also shows that you may face danger at any time. How's it going? Have you found it? Wu Bingqing looked around carefully and asked Xiaoxian. Found it? Xiaoxian also did not neglect. He was already familiar with Feng Qinjiang's soul before. At this time, he indeed found the familiar divine soul aura, but at the same time, he also found that there were several strong divine soul powers around Feng Qingyang. The strength is roughly in the Taixu Back realm. But around Feng Qingyang, there are still 3 or 4 spiritual soul powers from the Taixu Rear realm, which seemed to be his protectors. After Xiaoxian carefully withdrew the soul, he did not scare the snake. Dharma protector. This guy still has a guardian. Zhang Feng felt that it was a bit tricky. It's already difficult to deal with Feng Qingyang alone. Who knew that there would be a protector? Wu Bingqing's face didn't look good either. Now their power is dispersed. At this time, even Wu Bingqing's face looked a little ugly. Under the mountains not far away. At the same time, although she won't be afraid of any protector, Feng Qinjiang's growing strength is naturally not a good thing for them. They looked at each other with a little disdain. A blue firework soared into the sky. But Pule sect can brave the disapproval of the world. The most dangerous thing happened. I must be honest, but with your current physical condition, I'm afraid it won't be that easy to deal with Qinghua Academy's pursuit. This also shows their attitude. They want to go against Qinghua College. A cruel sneer appeared on Feng Qinjiang's face. Otherwise, wouldn't the injuries on my body have been in vain? Deliberately protecting Feng Qingyang. It exploded deep in the dense forest where the lightning struck, and brilliant sparks bloomed. What should we do? Zhang Feng couldn't help but ask. Should we summon Huzong and Chen Rufei for reinforcements? Let's hang them first. He, Elder Lei is joking. To be sure. You go and send the signal. The power of their souls has the aura of thunder and lightning. As long as you tell the secret you know, I, the Puppet Thunder sect, can ensure that you are safe and sound. The middle-aged man in black continued. Did you know that the person leading the hunt for you this time is Wu Bingqing from your Qinghua College? You must know that Feng Qingyang is being hunted by Qinghua Academy. This is already known to many sects in the Mingzhou domain. A young man with a pale face and a hideous wound on his chest raised his head. After seeing the fireworks, a sneer appeared at the corner of his mouth. Qinghua Academy really gave me Feng Qing some face, and actually sent people to hunt him down. Next to Feng Qingyang, a middle-aged man with a Chinese character face in black robe opened his eyes. In addition, we can also give you more Taoist stones than you can spend in a lifetime, so that you can fly far away and find one that Qinghua College will look for all your life. Not where you are. Several Pule sect disciples next to him also frowned slightly. Master Feng. They should all be from the puppetry section. Feng Qingyang still mingled with the people from Pule sect. Say it. This Qinghua Academy has caused me, Feng Qingyang, so much harm. How can I be willing to leave? Even if I have to leave, I have to leave them some unforgettable memories. Wu Bingqing was not too rash and asked Zhang Feng to send the signal before deciding to go over. Xiaoxian told another bad news. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 795. Oh. It's actually her. I heard Wu Bingqing's name. Feng Qinjiang's expression changed obviously, but then he still smiled coldly. I didn't expect that Qinghua College would be so willing to spend so much money. It seems like it really hates me to the core. But today may be the day for this inner disciple to die. I've long heard that Wu Bingqing is a beautiful woman. Not only is she good at martial arts, but she's also good looking. Then grab her and be my bed girl. Master Feng, are you joking? Several elders of Pule sect looked at each other with gloomy expressions. I have heard a long time ago that Wu Bingqing is the second inner disciple of your section except for Kang Glong's direct disciple Qing Long. No one else is her opponent. Is Mr. Feng confident that he can defeat her? Have to say, your puppetry sect's information is very well informed. But that was just before. Wu Bingqing is indeed the most outstanding one among the younger generation of disciples. Feng Qingyang smiled, but that was also before, under the Blue God realm. Say it. The expressions of several elders of Pule sect changed slightly. They all understood Feng Qinjiang's words. Listening to Feng Qinjiang's meaning, could it be that he has broken through the spiritual God realm and entered the spiritual God realm in the past few days? If that's the case, he really doesn't have to be afraid of Wu Bingqing. But these days, they have not found that Feng Qingyang has any intention of promotion. Instead, they have been hiding these days, even going deep into the jungle, and their cowardly appearance makes them angry. If Lei Wanjun, the leader of puppetry sect, hadn't asked them to protect Feng Qingyang, they had left this guy alone a long time ago. After all, this guy's life and death seem to have nothing to do with them. It's not really the Blue God realm. It's just the pseudo-Kang God realm. Feng Qinjiang's face was gloomy, and a violent bloody wind appeared, hitting a big tree in front of him directly. After a slight noise, the surface of the big tree was shattered into pieces. Then he fell to the ground with a crash. An elder who took the lead stepped forward, looked down, and his expression changed instantly. It turned out that just under Feng Qinjiang's palm, the inside of the big tree had turned into powder. It is not difficult to knock down a big tree with one palm. Several of the elders present who are in the great perfection of spiritual God realm can also do it. However, if you want to hit the inside of a big tree like this with one palm, you need to have the ultimate control of Tao power. In this case, Feng Qingyang has really become a master in the Kang God realm. Congratulations, Mr. Feng, for being promoted to the Blue God realm. Suddenly, several elders of the puppetry sect looked strange, but they still complimented him with a smile. Don't worry. Thanks to your protection these days, I, Feng Qingyang, am by no means a person who repays kindness with hatred. I will repay you. This way to the Blue God realm, I can't teach you. Feng Qinjiang's face was stern. But when he thought of Wu Bingqing and others, his face became distorted again. But before that, I will make those lackeys of Qinghua College pay the price. The other side. After Wu Bingqing sent out the signal, he did not stay there to wait for Huzon, Chen Rufei, and others. Instead, he took Xiao Xian and Zhang Feng and rushed towards Feng Qingyang. After all, the purpose this time is to capture or kill Feng Qingyang, and the task is not that simple. If there is really a puppetry sect involved in protecting Feng Qingyang, Huzon and Chen Rufei, two spiritual masters in the Great Perfection realm, can still be of some help. What's your plan? Do you really want to fight against their puppetry sect? Seeing that Wu Bingqing didn't say anything, Xiao Xian asked curiously, if my prediction is correct, Feng Qinjiang's current aura seems to have become a bit stronger, and it is not just a simple spiritual god realm Dzogchen. Say it. Wu Bingqing and Zhang Feng's expressions changed instantly. Beyond the great perfection of the spiritual God realm, no one needs to say what kind of realm this is. Blue God realm. Originally, with an opponent like Lei Wanjun, the leader of the puppetry sect, they were already in trouble. Who knew that Feng Qingyang, who was in the Blue God realm, would appear now? Doesn't that mean the other party is stronger than them? At this time, even Wu Bingqing's face was still a little solemn, and she just said, if this Feng Qingyang really has the Kangshen realm, I'm afraid it will be troublesome this time. Yes, I suggest that we seek help from the academy immediately, Zhang Feng suggested. Doesn't this mean our mission has failed? Xiao Xian asked. That's better than us having to do this. You have to know that the power of the Blue God realm is no joke, and it is definitely not something that we can compete with. Zhang Feng was a little anxious. But after he said this, there was no response from Xiao Xian and Wu Bingqing. The two of them just looked solemn, but they didn't have much fear. Instead, they felt eager to try. They are also regarded as genius-level figures in Qinghua Academy. Their strength is only a hair away from the Blue God realm. I really want to talk about it. Privately, they were somewhat curious about the mysterious Blue God realm, and wanted to see how powerful the Blue God realm was. Why, you really want to compete with the Blue God realm? Zhang Feng was a little nervous. Are you scared? Wu Bingqing turned back. A pair of beautiful eyes looked at him with some provocation. Faced with such a look from his goddess, Zhang Feng's face suddenly turned red. I really want to talk about it. Naturally, he also wanted to show his strength and show his manliness in front of Wu Bingqing. But now, what we have to face is the Blue God realm. He couldn't help but hesitate a little. How? Xiao Xian, do you dare to challenge me to see how strong this so-called Kangshen realm is? Wu Bingqing looked at Xiao Xian thoughtfully. She felt it. In comparison, Zhang Feng is a weak and timid person. Xiao Xian should be more masculine and would not give up in spite of difficulties. Certainly. That Feng Qingyang was seriously injured to begin with. Even if he was lucky enough to break through to the Blue God realm, he would still be in the Blue God realm with little power. Xiao Xian smiled, I just want to see how big the difference is between the Blue God realm and our spiritual God realm. He said this. Wu Bingqing next to her also nodded slightly, but still said, but, you are still at the peak of the spiritual God realm, so I will take action when the time comes. If he really breaks through to the Blue God realm, I will try my best to stop him, and you are responsible for solving the other spiritual God realms of the Puppet Thunder section. Finally, join forces to deal with Feng Qingyang. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 796. No problem. I'm a little curious, if Feng Qingyang really breaks through to the Blue God realm, how long can you stop him? Xiao Xian couldn't help but ask, what if? If you fight hard, it's not impossible to kill him. Wu Bingqing's expression was cold. What? It's not just Xiao Xian. Zhang Feng, who was next to him, was also stunned. Xiao Xian thought that maybe Wu Bingqing, as the second inner disciple, should still have some trump cards and tricks. But he never expected it. Her trump card is actually enough to kill the Blue God realm. This surprised him secretly, although now, Xiao Xian was confident that if he used pure Yangwuji Kendo and Flame Lotus, maybe it can also hurt the Blue God realm. But if he wants to kill a Kangshen who can regenerate with blood and resurrect the soul, it is still difficult for him to do it for the time being. Could it be that Wu Bingqing's trump card is so strong? Is what you said true? Xiao Xian's expression changed. If that's true, we can help you block other spiritual realms. If you use that move, I will be weak for a period of time. If the Pule sect intervenes at that time, we will be in trouble. Wu Bingqing's face was cold, so, you'd better deal with the other spiritual realms quickly and besiege Feng Qingyang together. This is the best result. Hear this. Xiao Xian and Zhang Feng also nodded secretly. They all know that, perhaps, there are some powers that are not that simple. If you want to use the power that does not belong to you, you may still have to pay a big price. From a certain perspective, this is considered normal. Xiao Xian can completely understand. After all, these days, which genius doesn't have some trump cards of his own? Good. Then let's see how capable this guy Feng Qingyang is. Wu Bingqing sneered and walked directly towards the depths of the dense forest. For this, even Xiao Xian also nodded secretly. If nothing else, let me just say that Wu Bingqing's courage are not something ordinary practitioners can possess. As the saying goes, knowing clearly that there are tigers in the mountains, one prefers to go to the tiger mountains. This is not a simple sentence. Some things are easy to say, but not so easy to do. And now, it is known that Feng Qingyang has reached the Blue God realm. After reaching this realm, the opponent's strength is extremely strong. Wu Bingqing didn't even show any fear. This is enough to show that she does have her own extraordinary means. The three of them walked forward. Soon, Feng Qingyang and others were found under the mountains. Feng Qingyang, I didn't expect you didn't run away. After seeing Feng Qingyang, Wu Bingqing looked this guy up and down and noticed something unusual about him. It seems from the breath. This guy is indeed no longer in the spiritual realm. Good. I heard from the brothers of the puppetry sect that the person who led the team to arrest me this time turned out to be you. Of course I have to wait. Feng Qingyang stood up and picked up the bloody sword in his hand. Oh. That's really an honor for me. After Wu Bingqing looked around, he said to the people from the Pule sect, this matter is an internal matter of our Qinghua College. I also ask my friends from the Pule sect not to interfere. The Qinghua College, will definitely be grateful in the future. She said this politely. However, after several Pule sect disciples looked at each other, they focused on Wu Bingqing again. I have heard that the second female disciple of the inner sect of Qinghua Academy is a beauty. But I didn't expect it to be so beautiful and fragrant. If you are willing to put aside your status and become a concubine by my side, I would be willing to let you go. An old man walked out with square steps. I saw that this old man's beard and hair were all black, his hands were iron gray, and he spoke with a strong voice. It seems that he is the leader of Puppet Lay sect, Lei Wanjun. This is the true Kangshen realm. Saw Lei Wanjun appear. Wu Bingqing and Xiao Xian were both secretly surprised. They could predict that Feng Qingyang had the courage to betray Qinghua Academy, and he must have the support of the puppetry sect behind him. But I didn't expect Lei Wanjun to stand up directly. Look like this. The Pule sect is determined to confront Qinghua Academy. Sect Master Lei is hiding it very deeply. As a powerful master of the Blue God realm, hiding among the disciples, I'm afraid it would be unworthy of the master's demeanor. Wu Bingqing looked at Lei Wanjun with a solemn expression. Ha ha ha. Under heaven and earth, in the Blue God realm and the spiritual God realm, only strength is the most important. In order to earn you a genius from Qinghua Academy, what do these things mean to me? Lei Wanjun smiled slightly. I have long heard that among the young disciples of Qinghua Academy, there are two very talented disciples, one is Qinglong and the other is Wu Bingqing. Naturally, I want to see them. Sect leader Lei is very capable of bending and stretching. Wu Bingqing's face became colder and colder. She also knew that provoking a strong man in the Kangshen realm at this time was not the right choice. No big deal. However, what I want to say is that if you are willing to stay in our puppetry sect, I will definitely give you resources you can't think of. Lei Wanjun looked at Wu Bingqing approvingly. With your talent, I am confident that you will become the most powerful Kangshen realm in the Mingzhou region within 3 months. While talking, he also looked at Wu Bingqing with warm eyes. The intention of soliciting is beyond words. That's not necessary. This junior is doing pretty well in Qinghua Academy, so I won't bother living with Lei Zone. Wu Bingqing refused coldly. Hear these words. Lei Wanjun didn't seem surprised, but said with a hint of regret, I'm really sorry for your talent. In this case, I can only make you into a thunder puppet. Hear these words. Xiao Xian was filled with emotion. Is this the legendary Tukian Daijian? Just now, the old man looked like he loved his talents, but in the blink of an eye, he turned into such a shameless look. Is this what is called duplicity? Thinking of this, he couldn't help but shake his head secretly. I'll leave those 2 boys to you. Solve it quickly. Lei Wanjun is the sect leader who came from the bottom. Kill decisively. After giving an order. Behind him, a group of puppetry sect disciples surrounded Xiao Xian and Zhang Feng. Looking at their strength, these 4 people turned out to be at the great perfection of the spiritual god realm. This also made Xiao Xian secretly nod. Pule sect is not that big a sect. Those who can produce 3 or 4 spiritual god realm Dzogchen cultivators at one time may have already found all the outstanding disciples in their section. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 797. Damn it! I'm afraid this puppetry sect will be mobilized in full force. Looking at the 4 masters surrounding them, Zhang Feng's expression changed. Although Wu Bingqing next to him wanted to rescue, Lei Wanjun and Feng Qingyang were already surrounding him. One of these 2 people is in the Kang God realm, and the other is in the pseudo-Kang God realm. Their strength is not weak. It was a little troublesome for Wu Bingqing to face it. Naturally, there is no way to help them. You'd better concentrate on dealing with us. Although the 4 elders of our puppetry sect are not as good as the branch dean of your Qinghua Academy, they are not so bad that even those at the peak of the spiritual god realm can't pay more. Lei Wanjun said with a smile. The 4 elders of Pule sect. Hear these words. However, Wu Bingqing's expression also changed. Did she know that in the Puppet Thunder sect, apart from Lei Wanjun, the most powerful Kangshen realm expert, these 4 elders were the more famous. These 4 people are named Lei Ming, Lei Fang, Lei Ji, Lei Chong. It is said that these 4 people are quadruplets, born from the belly of the same mother, and their strengths are very similar. They are also very skilled in cooperating with each other to fight. We once collaborated to kill a powerful man in the Kangshen realm. Because of these brilliant achievements, the 4 of them are also famous in the Puppet Thunder sect. Therefore, Lei Wanjun also believes that if the 4 of them join forces, Xiao Xian and Zhang Feng may be in trouble. Then take action. Just take a look at the gap between me and the great perfection of the spiritual god realm. Relative to Zhang Feng's nervousness. Instead, Xiao Xian geared up and didn't take these 4 people seriously at all. In fact, for him, the difference between the great perfection of the spiritual god realm and the peak of the spiritual god realm is nothing more than a stronger Taoist power. Since coming out of Qinglian Valley, he has yet to truly fight against the practitioners of the great perfection of spiritual god realm. So now, he is really curious to see how powerful this so-called great perfection of spiritual god realm is. Boy! You really want to fight with us? It's ridiculous that newborn calves are not afraid of tigers. Thunder Palm. Lei Ming and Lei Fang looked at each other, sneered at the same time, took action at the same time, and rushed directly towards Xiao Xian. They planned to start with Xiao Xian, who was at the peak of the spiritual god realm. Kill the chicken to scare the monkey. Give Wu Bingqing and Zhang Feng a warning. Looking at the black palms that were gradually approaching, Xiao Xian was not afraid. The heavenly wolf sword suddenly unsheathed the Chunyangwuji sword and slashed directly at the wrists of the two people. The next scene. But it shocked everyone present. The sharp serious sword slashed across their hands. A line of blood appeared on their wrists, and then their hands fell directly to the ground. Xiao Xian cut off his palm with one sword, directly destroying the two on the opposite side. Lei Ming Lei Fang was shocked. When he felt the pain in his hand, it was already too late. This beast is actually so strong. Ah, brother, my hand. Lei Ming Lei Fang looked at his hands in disbelief, his face full of surprise, but the next second he held his hands and took a few steps back. Two people were crippled with one sword. The people next to me were a little shocked. Even Lei Wanjun couldn't help but frown. These four people were considered the real core of the sect in his puppetry sect, and now two of them were eliminated at once. Naturally he felt distressed too. Damn thing. If you don't act quickly, you won't be able to deal with even a person at the peak of the spiritual god realm, and there's no need for you to live. Lei Wanjun was furious. But Wu Bingqing's eyes lit up when she saw all this. Before, she could feel that Xiao Xian was indeed a capable person, but she didn't expect that he could bring her such a big surprise. Look at what it looks like now. Xiao Xian's move just now actually killed two practitioners of the great perfection of the spiritual god realm, and it didn't seem to take much effort. Could it be that? Can Xiao Xian, a figure at the pinnacle of the spiritual god realm, really defeat these four people? This made her a little bit unbelievable. After all, even Wu Bingqing himself would have to spend a lot of effort to challenge four spiritual realms of perfection by himself. You, brother Xiao Xian, you actually. Zhang Feng was also surprised. Xiao Xian's sword strike just now happened in front of him. It can be said that he is the one who sees it most clearly. That sword. It seemed ordinary, but the power within it shocked him, if it weren't for the fact that the target of the sword was not him. Now, he was lying on the ground. You wanna die? Thunder strikes and thunder rushes. If you don't come together, come out with the thunder and wind formation. The four of them looked at each other, with a hint of solemnity in their eyes. Subsequently, without waiting for Xiao Xian to react, the lightning power of the four people emerged at the same time, and they were immediately surrounded by him. Four practitioners of the great perfection of spiritual god realm moved at the same time, and thunder and lightning energy of the same attribute appeared, almost forming a sea of thunder and lightning around Xiao Xian. There were thunder and lightning in it like waves. There was a crackling sound from time to time, and every surge caused an explosion in the surrounding environment. Big trees, rocks, land. Anything that touches lightning will be shattered instantly. What everyone couldn't believe was that these thunder and lightning finally shrank into an extremely small circle, surrounding Xiao Xian. See this? Lei Wanjun also nodded secretly. This thunder and wind formation is the special skill of these four people. Once upon a time, there was a master of the Kangshen realm who was accidentally trapped by this thunder and wind formation, and was finally struck to death by lightning. Now, the formation is 10%. No matter how powerful Xiao Xian is, he can't escape. And as long as he is in the formation, the four brothers of the Lei family can easily defeat Xiao Xian. Haha. I thought this guy could bring me a little surprise. Now it seems that I think too much about my advantages. This guy is also a proud person. Lei Wanjun said disdainfully, if he had found out earlier, he might have had a chance of survival if he got out of the thunder and wind formation. Now, even if he has the ability to reach the sky and the earth, he can't get out. Hear this. Wu Bingqing's face was also a little solemn. She saw that when the power of the great Dao in Xiao Xian's body hit the thunder and wind formation, not even a ripple was left behind. This is indeed bad news. Judging from the current combat strength, besides her, Xiao Xian is the most powerful on their side. And if Chen Rufei and Hu Zone can't come as soon as possible, I'm afraid she is really in danger. Xiao Xian, can you create a miracle? Wu Bingqing felt anxious for Xiao Xian. What? Wu Bingqing, do you really think this guy can defy the odds? This is a bit unrealistic. After Lei Wanjun noticed Wu Bingqing's eyes, he laughed instead. If you have this idea, you might as well think about whether to join our puppetry section. In this way, we will still survive today. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 798. The battle is not over yet. I still advise Sect Master Lei not to be too confident. Wu Bingqing's face was cold and she said, no one knows whether a miracle will happen. She said this. His eyes couldn't help but focus on Xiao Xian. At this moment, the team is almost in despair. Under such circumstances, only Xiao Xian and Zhang Feng defeated the four elders of the Lei sect, and then cooperated with Wu Bingqing to defeat Lei Wanjun and Feng Qingyang again. Perhaps this is their only chance to complete their mission. But what disappointed Wu Bingqing was Zhang Feng, who was full of confidence before and boasted in front of her, turned pale with fright and couldn't even gather his Tao power. It totally disappointed her. Without any choice, she could only put her last gaze on Xiao Xian. I hope Xiao Xian can surprise her. Thunder Wind Formation. It looks a bit powerful. Xiao Xian tried several times and found that once the Tao power in his body appeared and touched the Thunder Wind Formation, he would be swept away by the Tao power in the formation. But he didn't take it to heart. Not to mention that before time travel, he was already a formation master. This thunder and wind formation looks mysterious, but when it comes down to it, it's actually just the same thing. And with Lei Ming, Lei Fang was injured before. Therefore, the entire thunder wind formation has an unnatural and unbalanced state, just like a car missing two wheels. It could collapse at any time. Interesting. Although this formation is mediocre, these four brothers have a spiritual connection. If they work together, the power is quite impressive. Xiao Xian nodded secretly, not bad, not bad. Hear these compliments. Thunder, thunder, lightning, thunder, and thunder. The four people's faces were a little gloomy. As the elders of Pulei sect, their status is naturally higher than that of Xiao Xian, an ordinary disciple of Tsinghua University. But who knows? Now, being praised by Xiao Xian really made them feel extremely aggrieved. It's like he was a teacher but was praised by his apprentice while practicing. Sharp teeth and sharp mouth. It's just a lucky move. Do you really think you're great? It's so ridiculous. Lei Ming is the eldest brother among the four. He was also livid. After absorbing the power of the four people, he activated the power of the four people and directly attacked Xiao Xian alone. He actually planned to use the power of four people. Get rid of Xiao Xian directly. Completely ignoring Zhang Feng next to him. At this scene, even Lei Wanjun frowned slightly. You must know that although Xiao Xian showed extraordinary strength just now, he is only at the peak of the spiritual god realm. At this moment, he was trapped in the formation. It is almost a certain death outcome. But who knew that Lei Ming would actually use all the righteous energy of the formation for Xiao Xian? Isn't this a bit making a mountain out of a molehill? Ahem. This Lei Ming is still so reckless in doing things. Lei Wanjun still sneered and said, if what I said is true, the thunder and wind formation alone is enough to suppress this guy at the peak of the spiritual god realm. Who knows, he will even launch an attack. Regarding Lei Wanjun's cynicism, Wu Bingqing still couldn't understand the meaning. It was nothing more than an attempt to ridicule her. However, Wu Bingqing now has his own plans, and King Hua College's fireworks for help have been set off. If Hu Zong and Chen Rufei see it, should be here soon. Although facing the two Kangshen realms, Lei Wanjun and Feng Qingyang, their strength may not be of much use. But at least it can help them deal with the follow-up disciples of puppetry sect. This is also their role. Therefore, what Wu Bingqing has to do now is to delay as much time as possible. But now it seems that the four of them, Lei Ming, Lei Fang, Lei Ji, Lei Chong, do not intend to give her this chance to delay time. Damn it! But it surprised everyone present. After seeing the weaknesses of the four of them, she also thought about taking advantage of Lei Wanjun and Feng Qinjiang's lack of attention and taking action directly, injuring or even killing an elder of the puppetry sect as much as possible. Yes, this is a place like where I am at Qinghua Academy. I may not be able to become a strong person in the Kang God realm in my whole life. Feng Qingyang smiled slightly. What? Senior Sister Wu doesn't want to become a strong person in the Kang God realm. Is it true that I won't shed tears when I see the coffin? But he was still so frightened that his face turned pale. If he hadn't seen Wu Bingqing still there, he would have been so frightened that he would have turned around and ran away. Xiao Xian sneered. Aren't you tired of living? Do you think, Wu Bingqing, you want to see your junior brother die with your own eyes? Although the four of you are brothers and practice the same techniques and methods, you are not the same person. It is not that simple to condense the energy of the four of you together. Xiao Xian is just a cultivator at the peak of the spiritual God realm. No matter what, it is impossible for him to defeat the four spiritual God realm Dzogchen. This made her feel a sense of restraint, and she even didn't know what to do at this moment. Wu Bingqing's face moved slightly. Also like Xiao Xian, he was in the thunder and wind formation. However, before she could take action, the power of two Kangshen realms had already suppressed her. This scene. What are you going to do? This Lei Wanjun. What's more, judging from the current situation, Wu Bingqing secretly clenched her fists and could only place her hope on Xiao Xian, hoping that he could bring some miracles. The masters of these two forces will react. How do I say this? Compared with Xiao Xian's calmness, Zhang Feng seemed much more nervous. This is almost certain. You know, he is the one taking the initiative to attack now. Faced with the energy of the four spiritual God realm Dzogchen techniques, Xiao Xian doesn't think about how to defend, but he still takes the initiative to attack. He didn't take this so-called thunder and wind formation seriously, he just sneered and slashed towards Lei Ming with his sword. This can help Xiao Xian relieve some pressure. Although he is not Lei Ming's main target. Ridiculous attack. Even Lei Ming didn't react for a moment. Lei Wanjun felt that he had a chance to win at this moment, so he smiled slightly and said, if I were you, I wouldn't consider these issues now. Lei Wanjun gestured to Feng Qingyang next to him with his eyes, and said, look, Feng Qingyang is already at the Blue God realm. This is the result of our cooperation. Blue God realm, Wu Bingqing frowned slightly. As long as she moves a little. Just now, when the four elders of the puppetry sect besieged Xiao Xian. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 799. You actually have such ability. Feng Qingyang, when I was at Qinghua Academy, I didn't realize that you had such a talent. Wu Bingqing looked at Feng Qingyang, with a sneer on her lips, this is really beyond my expectation. Say it. The corners of Feng Qinjiang's mouth couldn't help but twitch. Indeed, when he was at Qinghua Academy, he was not a very talented disciple. Not even an inner disciple. Even people like Hu Tailong who challenge inner disciples all year round look down upon him. He was not taken seriously in Qinghua College, which was why he finally decided to kill his brothers and defect to Qinghua College. But the final result was pretty good. He has relied on his own strength to finally get the realm he wanted, and now he has become a strong man in the Kangshen realm. As for the back, if Wu Bingqing is willing to join them, it might be a good thing. However, looking at the situation in front of him now, Wu Bingqing doesn't seem to have that many plans. If you don't eat the toast, you will be punished with alcohol. Is it possible that you think the proud son of King Hua Academy can have much dignity in this place where lightning strikes? Feng Qingyang sneered. He knows the current situation very well. Although Xiao Xian is somewhat talented, he really has to defeat 4 spiritual gods at the pinnacle of the spiritual realm. This is almost impossible. What's more, now they can all see clearly that Xiao Xian has been suppressed by 4 people, Lei Ming, Lei Fang, Lei Ji, and Lei Chong. Life and death may depend on someone else's thoughts. Under such circumstances, Wu Bingqing still has such high hopes for him, but in the end, I am afraid it will be a bad result. This is almost a certainty. But they are not in a hurry either. In their view, Xiao Xian was almost certain to die. After Xiao Xian dies, Wu Bingqing may not have so many ideas anymore, and may finally agree to their conditions. After looking at each other, Lei Wanjun and Feng Qingyang also had a little more smiles on their lips. There was no rush to take action. I just want to see if anyone can say these words after Xiao Xian is finished. Most people may not have that much thought about this, but Xiao Xian became interested instead. At the same time, he faced 4 cultivators of the great perfection of spiritual God realm. Instead, he felt challenged. Is it possible that how much more capable you guys can be? Aren't you the great perfection of the spiritual God realm? Do you think I haven't killed anyone? Xiao Xian didn't talk nonsense either. The serious sword swung and charged directly towards Lei Ming, Lei Fang, Lei Ji, Lei Chong. The fierce sword wind appeared and went straight to the necks of the 4 people. Xiao Xian planned to kill 4 people in a row with this sword. Young man is arrogant. I will definitely let you know today that there is a sky beyond the sky. Lei Ming was also shocked. Judging from the previous fights, he could see that Xiao Xian did have some tricks. But that's the case. He also didn't expect Xiao Xian to be so arrogant. It was simply unbelievable that he was planning to kill all 4 of them with one slash of his sword. To know. For ordinary people. For a person at the pinnacle of the spiritual God realm to fight against a practitioner of the great perfection of the spiritual God realm, this is already something to be proud of. Who knew, now in front of so many people? Xiao Xian is so bold. Doesn't this mean he doesn't take others seriously? Regarding this, the people next to him were more or less shocked. Finally, they looked at each other and finally focused on him. Break it for me. How can 4 mere spiritual gods in the great perfection realm stop me? Xiao Xian roared angrily. A sword light fell from the sky and hit Lei Ling's head in front of him. The golden sword light was like a red gold sword, piercing directly through Lei Ming's head like a ball. Immediately afterwards, the golden light flashed away. He got into Lei Fang's head again. Puff 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 puff. 4 sounds in succession. The 4 elders of the Lei family fell to the ground at the same time. Between the eyebrows, there was a flash of blood. Under the sword just now, Xiao Xian actually directly killed 4 elders of the puppetry sect. You actually killed them. Lei Wanjun's expression changed. He never expected that the 4 elders of his sect would be killed so easily. How? Aren't the facts in front of you? Xiao Xian sneered. He didn't care what Lei Wanjun thought. To be honest, as far as the current situation is concerned, Lei Wanjun and King Hua Academy are already in a fight to the death. This is definitely a huge loss. It can be said that these 4 elders have been lost. It even made his heart stop beating. Obviously the barrier just now is still very effective. Xiao Xian clearly felt an invisible pressure surrounding him. Under this huge force, he was almost unable to resist. Will it take a long time? But I didn't expect you to have such courage. Under this force, he felt that his body seemed to be firmly controlled within this space. It shrouded Xiao Xian's body, but helped him resist the punch. Xiao Xian was not interested in saying anything nice. The entire puppetry sect has even lost its competitiveness in the land of lightning strikes, and it may not take long for it to be squeezed out by other sects. He actually killed so many people from our puppetry section. The next second, Lei Wanjun's face also turned completely gloomy. Not timid. Under such power, although the barrier of blue water was shattered, Xiao Xian was not harmed. Interesting. So, your Qinghua Academy is really going to fall out with our puppetry sect. Looking at the fist that was gradually approaching, Xiao Xian's face changed slightly, and he could hardly help but take action. He knew that in just a moment, all 4 elders of his puppetry sect were killed. Today is the day you die. Boom. A green ripple of blue water appeared in the sky. After he could no longer feel the breath of the 4 elders on the ground, Lei Wanjun's face was cold. Don't forget, this is a place where lightning strikes. This kind of repressive force from space. After the fist appears, a punch hit Xiao Xian's chest. Lei Wanjun roared angrily. His figure was like lightning, and the power of thunder and lightning instantly condensed in his black hands. What a powerful force! Thunder and lightning collided with the blue water, making a loud noise. It was the first time that Xiao Xian felt a danger to his life. Surprisingly, he still has the ability to control space. This punch was thrown out. Boy! Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 800. The place where lightning struck. It's a bit interesting. Needless to say anything else, I do know that the lightning strike technique practiced by this old guy like you seems to be somewhat interesting. Xiao Xian sneered, but it's not that easy to kill me. Say it. Lei Wanjun's face became increasingly ugly. For him, although his strength is not that powerful in the Mingzhou territory, but if he is in the lightning strike place, he still has a place. From a certain perspective, his thunder and lightning technique is somewhat good. Then, let me see how extraordinary you, a genius from Qinghua College, are. Looking at Wu Bingqing in front of him, Lei Wanjun's face became a little more contemptuous. As a sect leader, I take action against a junior disciple. Are all the puppetry sects such shameless people? Wu Bingqing shook his head. If that's true, I don't believe it. What's so special about your puppetry sect? After saying this, she was very happy, but Lei Wanjun's face turned cold. For him, whether it is Wu Bingqing or Xiao Xian, they are just junior disciples, and there is no need for him to take action in the first place. But he didn't expect it. The 4 Lei family elders under him actually overturned their cars and died in the hands of a little Xiao Xian. This made him a little unhappy. What do you mean? Sect Master Lei, you deal with Wu Bingqing, and I'll deal with the Xiao Xian. Feng Qingyang touched his chin. Speaking of which, I also entered Qinghua College with Xiao Xian. At that time, he was still the number 1 among the freshmen. It's so embarrassing to be able to enter the academy with a beast like you. Xiao Xian smiled slightly. Sharp teeth and sharp mouth. Hear these words. Feng Qinjiang's face also turned ugly. Over such a long time, he has seen some geniuses and gifted disciples, but in his opinion, these geniuses are nothing remarkable. After all, now he is a freshman. They have all achieved the Blue God realm. Xiao Xian was also the first in the competition among newcomers at that time, but what could he do? Isn't he just at the peak of the spiritual God realm now? What's so great about it? That kind of people. What else is worth pursuing? If he could become someone like him, he would have already reached the Blue God realm. As for people like Wu Bingqing, in Feng Qinjiang's view, he was completely stupid. He obviously had extraordinary talent and family background, but he had to practice hard. If only I could be like him. With a little unconventional means, wouldn't it be possible to become a master of the Blue God realm early on? Xiao Xian carefully looked at Feng Qingyang, and he found that there was still some gap between this guy's Dao power fluctuations and Lei Wanjun. There is no solidification of the latter at all. Although his strength is not weak, there is still a slight disorder in his Tao power. This is very fatal. Obviously, Feng Qinjiang's background is not as reliable as Lei Wanjun's. Most of his Kangshen realms were temporarily broken through, so his combat ability shouldn't be as strong as Lei Wanjun's. That being the case, Xiao Xian really wanted to try it. Let's see how far Feng Qingyang can improve his strength by relying on evil magic. What? Do you think you can defeat me? Ha 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 ha, Feng Qingyang laughed, with a cold face. Do you know how much I paid for this fake realm? It is indeed a false realm. Xiao Xian also nodded secretly. Feng Qinjiang's words were not what he expected. After all, Xiao Xian is still somewhat confident in his talents and adventures. Even he has not improved his strength to the Kangshen realm for such a long time. Now it's just Feng Qingyang. He was actually able to increase his strength to the Blue God realm despite being seriously injured. This is enough to show that this guy must not have used any good means, which is really ridiculous. You want to defeat me with your power? Is it a little too difficult? Xiao Xian smiled slightly. The way you are now, it seems that you may not be able to defeat me so smoothly. Haven't you thought about this problem? Say it. Feng Qingyang shook his head instead. Although I don't know why you are so confident, what I have to say is that with your ability, if you want to defeat me, it's not that simple, right? Then let's give it a try, Xiao Xian also sneered. Okay, Feng Qingyang said calmly, I can let you take action first, so as not to say that I, a Kangshen realm, take the initiative to bully an ordinary disciple like you. Is the Blue God realm really that strong? Xiao Xian turned his head and looked at the battle situation next to him. He just glanced at it and was secretly surprised. He found Wu Bingqing actually fought with Lei Wanjun, and their strength was almost the same. The way of clear water and the way of thunder collide. There was a loud rumble. The clear water is flying and the lightning is shining. The central area of the battle had been flattened by the tyrannical power of the avenue, leaving only the original rocks on the ground bare. This really made Xiao Xian secretly speechless. He has also seen Lei Wanjun's power. If it really comes down to it, he may be able to compete with all the power of the Dao that he uses, coupled with the Dao Yun of the ancient trees and the body of the dragon. But that was using all his cards. But now, Wu Bingqing seemed to be able to use some kind of secret technique, and the power of the great Dao in his body stretched endlessly, just like the river and the sea, constantly being displayed. Sometimes, it even brings some trouble to Lei Wanjun. Hee. It's really interesting. I didn't expect that someone would really challenge me at this time. If you really want to talk about it, with your little strength, it seems that you are not qualified to challenge me. Feng Qingyang sneered. However, considering that you were once a person, today I will show you what real power is. Said. Dao power also emerged from him. The huge gathering of power also made Xiao Xian's face become solemn, but more importantly, it was still sarcastic. Perhaps it was because he had just witnessed Lei Wanjun's power. When Xiao Xian faced Feng Qingyang, he didn't seem to be as shocked as he was at first, but instead there was a bit of contempt on his lips. What's the meaning? You're not moving. Do you really think that all the power of the great Dao in my body is just for decoration? Seeing Xiao Xian motionless. Instead, Feng Qingyang showed a sullen look on his face and scolded angrily, do you know that today is the day you die?